This is Mystic and Madge.
Hey, lady.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our show. This is Mystic and Madge saying hello from our respective places on the globe. How are you today?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good, good. It's been another interesting day. This morning I did my morning walk, and in about an hour, I'll do another walk to try to squeeze in the 3 miles. But staying at home has been super challenging. How about you?
Yeah, same here. Same here. And the fire trucks are like blaring their horns if you try to go for a walk in the neighborhood, telling you to get off the streets. I've noticed that here. The strangest thing.
Are you serious?
Yeah, yeah. In other cities, I was reading that they are actually giving people tickets for having get-togethers of more than a few people. I know at the lakefront, they closed down the lakefront in most cities for people to walk, especially here.
Which,
And
which
they
is unfortunate because that's the only thing we have. But if people didn't follow the rules of the 6 feet, distancing, social distancing, what are you gonna do? I mean, so everyone has to pay for it now. That's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of sad. Um, but we're all doing our best and um, just trying to stay busy and again, just reading the news and all the craziness that gets posted, just trying to find out what's true and what's not true. I know we were talking yesterday about hospitals and how they really don't have the supplies that they need,
Hmm.
um, or so is being claimed, right? And I thought back to several years ago, where they were doing projects in, I forget, I think it was Trinidad and Tobago, and they had to have actual boots on the ground, like security, that were from America because the locals were stealing supplies. And Trump just yesterday
Where was this at?
inadvertently,
Wait, where
this was
was
in
this?
Trinidad and
In
Tobago,
Trinidad. Okay.
right? And they were building a new hospital and they would have to send for any equipment and supplies and everything. They would have to have it, every item had to be marked and tagged and accounted for. And they had to have, there were a couple Americans on the project and some Brits to account for the stuff because stuff disappears. It's just a fact. Stuff disappears. People were stealing. It historically had happened, so they were taking precautions to do that. And this was years ago, but it got me thinking about that because Trump yesterday was kind of accusing the hospitals. Well, where's it going? Out the back door? We're sending you the supplies. Why are you claiming not to have them? So who knows what's true? Is it true that they're not being sent the supplies or that they're being sent the supplies and they're disappearing or people are hoarding them at the hospital, like putting them in a certain room, and then trying to ask for more because they never got that. So there's all kinds of strange things that go on in situations like this.
Yeah, it's
Um,
it's it's interesting because um I had somebody ping me and he was saying, "Hey, I have a moral dilemma." I'm like, "What are you talking about? And you're pinging me on Facebook. Just call me. Like, what's going on?" So we were talking and he was saying that his wife is a nurse, and then she noticed that one of the nurses that she works with actually was stealing supplies.
mm,
And she got caught. When she got caught by the other nurse, she was like, "Well, why are you stealing it?" She's like, "Well, I have to get ready for my own global pandemic. So like when I'm at home, what do I do?" And I was absolutely in shock. I was
yeah,
absolutely in shock and dismayed and disturbed and disgusted. And I told him, you know, she found out, his wife found out, and it's her moral responsibility to report her. Are you kidding me? Like, again, we have to come together.
yeah, for real. That's crazy. But this is what's possibly happening is people are taking things and things might very well be disappearing. Um, if they're not disappearing, then that's a larger issue. Is what the government is posting in terms of news stories true? That they are actually sending items. So in New York, they have that offshore hospital. They
Right.
actually put just off the coast. Sorry, they're doing like a little floating hospital,
Hmm.
and people were lining up to like watch the boat, watch the ship come in, like watch the supplies, and people were actually standing there and they were photographing it and posting it online. I thought that was interesting to see. Um, but do you know anybody in the medical profession that's it'd be interesting to speak to somebody.
Yeah, so
Um,
I know several people in the medical profession. It's interesting because when I was speaking to somebody just a couple days ago, they're pretty remote. And one of the things that she was saying, she's a doctor and she works at three different hospitals, and she was saying that no, it's pretty serious and not to take it lightly. And they haven't gotten to the point like where, quote unquote, they say New York is at,
right.
but um, that supplies are scarce. They're really, really scarce right now. And so
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy because I just saw another ping that somebody sent me, and I guess the mainstream media wasn't really cognizant of the fact that they sent out the same picture twice in a matter of days. And so one picture said, "Oh, we're at the epicenter, America's epicenter, we're in New York." And then it said that they were in an Italian hospital, but they used the same picture and the same
Yeah.
video. And I'm like, what the F?
Yeah,
I,
they didn't think anybody would notice.
right, right. And this is CBS, by the way. This was CBS. Just as an FYI, if anyone wants to take a look, it says it's a New York City footage from New York City and footage from Italy. It's all the same footage. So from March 25th and then March 22nd, if anyone wants to look it up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So, we were also talking about food today. And I know that within that, I mean, yesterday you were talking about, the fruits and vegetables rotting and how you knew somebody that actually was going through that. And because she had no help, right?
Hmm.
And that's only one farm, one small
Yeah,
farm.
that was last year.
Right,
Hmm.
right. And this is right, exactly. So what's happening now? And we're possibly going to speak to a cattle rancher. I'm crossing my fingers, but I know that we
Yeah, that's
learn
going to be
stuff.
exciting.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought it'd be fun
Yeah.
just to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be exciting to find out what's actually going on in terms of um in on the cattle ranches, how migration has affected a little off the topic of COVID, but how migration has affected and lack thereof because of the borders being closed and um, for migrant workers to be able to come in and pick. So I was reading an article, for example, in the UK with Brexit.
Hmm.
They're actually talking about flying in workers to uh, pick crops um, in a month or so, and that is going to be interesting. They're actually going to fly in workers.
Wow.
So I don't know how the cost of flying in people is instead of just hiring people locally and paying them a living wage would affect things. Like if there was a subsidy for fruits and vegetables and a situation where they could actually be paid properly, so they don't have to necessarily seek outside the country. So that would be interesting if we put as much value on our food and what we ingest in our body as we do, let's say, a TV screen or a video game or a Birkin bag,
Music,
things.
clothing,
Yeah,
shoes,
things we spend money on that,
cars.
you know,
The list goes on and on.
right,
Yeah,
right.
and
So
that's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
That's nuts. It's interesting because we were talking about borders being closed, and I guess one of the things that I was joking about was the fact that Mexico now sent out a message that they're not accepting any Americans into Mexico. So it's
Right.
it's both ways, and neither is Canada. So talk about
Right.
a complete lockdown. I mean, it's like serious. Like this is no joke in any way, shape, or form. And the reasoning behind it, you know, everyone has a theory. Everyone has a theory. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a lot of theories. And, you might call them conspiracies, you might call them whatever you want to call them, but there's a lot of theories out there I'd love to touch on later in the week. Um, but a lot of them are out there, theories as to what's going on, if it goes beyond just a virus or if there's some ulterior
Hmm.
motives or what the situation is. People talking about currency resets and, you know, things like that that are um, word going around. But
Well, the thing is, like,
yeah,
I'm thinking about it, looking at it now. Okay, so just with the sheer example that I presented a couple minutes ago regarding the same picture by CBS, okay? CBS sending out the same
right,
freaking picture, one for New York, one for Italy, but it's the same freaking goddamn picture. Excuse my language, but I'm pissed about that, right? Um, you know, what are we supposed to believe? What are we supposed
right,
cannot believe the mainstream media, quote unquote, then we need to take it back and we need to, you know, information to each other. But at the same time, we're putting up information, and of course, nobody knows what's real and what's not. So then we're putting up information on Facebook, and then what happens? Facebook says, no, you can't put that up.
right. And Facebook is, I think it was $100 million investment they announced yesterday to support journalism, which is kind of a joke.
Sorry.
So yeah, you can apply for a grant. We should apply and see what happens to support journalism. And basically, in the midst of all of this going on, people that can accurately document what's going on. Now, I get it. I get that. Listen, everybody has a different opinion on Mark Zuckerberg, but it is kind of ironic that that they're the ones that were basically spreading fake news by allowing a lot of these ridiculous news articles to post. Um, and they have full control over stuff. I mean, they take stuff down left and right. If you post the wrong thing, it's wrong or whatever, they'll take stuff down. Now
Immediately,
they're on top of
immediately.
it,
So,
but
so, all
right,
those people are working. They're not on lockdown and they're not affected.
right,
But we are.
right,
And it's interesting because they were saying, that supposedly the NSA is super hyped up there in regards to figuring out who's an enemy of the state and who's not. I don't know. like like what are you talking about? Like yeah, because this
right,
does not affect them. It affects us. We the people are
right.
affected. Or wait a second, hold on. Not let me amend that and say we the sheeple.
The sheeple, yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness. And I know I'm laughing, but what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, we can't go, otherwise we go crazy. I think it was a friend of yours who was saying your anxiety is like if you have a certain character during normal times, right? Like a certain part of your character at one point or another is going to stand out more now, right? So if you're an anxious person or you're, a happy person or a sad person, right now it's going to be exemplified, like it's going to be tripled. So, a lot of people are just very nervous and some people are just making light of it, right? And you have to sometimes because otherwise you go crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Let
yeah. That's a
the
that's a good
happiness
point.
come
I
out.
mean, normally I'm pretty it's all about laughter and pretty much.
Totally, and it's coming out
Yeah,
more,
so I'm
so keep it up,
I'm laughing more.
because I'm anxious enough for
I'm
everybody.
laughing. Ha ha
Yeah.
ha. No. Oh my goodness gracious. This is just, I mean, it's interesting because I'm sitting here, and as I think about it, part of me wants to scream or do something crazy, and I'm trying to like hold myself and control myself and just breathe and relax. And this is when meditation, it just comes into play. It's so important right now. So thankful that I had those 8 years of classes. Like I can't, I just can't even believe it.
Yeah, I cannot meditate. I am incapable of meditation. So I totally am jealous about that. But you've always been able to do that and calm yourself and quiet your mind and sit there and meditate. I'm like, I can't do it. And then I've tried. I've chanted with the best of them.
Yeah.
I've had, I've had silent
The
retreats.
Namyo Renge
Um,
Kyo.
oh, remember that? Namyo Renge Go over and
Yes,
over
yes.
again.
Yeah.
I did not like that. Then the retreat with the Dalai Lama's followers in Michigan. I did that. You weren't there, but I did
I did see
that.
the Dalai Lama
And
though. Yeah.
oh, see, I didn't get to meet the
Yeah.
Dalai Lama. Tell me about
That was
that.
interesting. I expected to feel a one way, and after that experience, I felt completely the opposite. And let's just leave it at that. Let's just leave it at that. I I was shocked that it wasn't the way that I thought it was going to go. And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I even question that, or him rather, personally, than
right.
it's just, yeah. And then I also did the hugging lady. Did you do her, Amma?
No,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
no.
I did
That's
Amma.
funny.
And it was the same thing.
Okay.
And she was looking at me quizzically because, I caught her eye and she was just staring at me and I was staring at her. And I had like this weird like look. I know I did because I can't hide it, you know, Madge. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I just can't hide it.
You can't hide when you think somebody's full of it, or
Exactly,
just you can't hide.
exactly. You got me. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty
Yeah.
bad like
Yeah,
that.
I couldn't. I was like, really? Oh, all these people waiting in line and what? And you're charging what? Oh, right. It's yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. I got you. Good job. Good job. Because I fell for it, right? So,
Right.
but I never did it again. But even so, these modalities are so important right now. Like even if
Right.
at that time whatever I called the bullshit, that's fine. But you can take whatever you can and integrate it so that it serves you in whatever way that is positive. Because right now we need a huge
Correct.
dose of positivity. So I think I'm going to start doing
Right.
like jokes
That's
and
good.
tap
Do
dancing
you have one
and
for me now?
tap dancing and doing the jokes. Dun, 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 dun.
Do you have some
No,
jokes
no,
for
no.
right
I have
now?
to prepare, man. That's asking way too much right now. Like, come on. I'm in the middle of a global pandemic. What are you talking about, Madge? Like, really? Like, I got to prepare for that, man. Come on. No way. No way. No way. Yeah. I don't know.
So oh,
No,
go
no.
ahead,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
No, no, I was just gonna say I've been tinkering on factcheck.org, um, which is a website that fact checks. It's like a UK, and I don't even know that the people that are fact checking are even for real. That's how
It's not
paranoid I am.
Snopes.
But
Like, you mean Snopes?
yeah, it's kind of similar, but it's called
Yeah, but
factcheck.org.
Snopes is horrible. It's horrible.
that's what I'm saying. I don't know about, I mean, Snopes, I don't know about Snopes, but FactCheck.org claims to be a UK nonprofit, and they basically check on, just check it out when you get a chance. They check on different things that are being said in the
They're
news,
fact
and
checkers.
they're fact
Yeah,
checkers,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I've just been looking on there, and there's interesting topics that maybe we could talk about in the week.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to take a look at that. Um, but I think too, I don't know. I'm a lot like you when it comes to that. And I don't know. Do you can you call it right now paranoia? Because look where we're at. We
No,
can't call it
right,
paranoia anymore. We just
correct.
can't. Like, they used to call people who, oh, conspiracy theories, or they used to say, oh no, you're just paranoid. Really? Really? You could so now and there's people still in the middle of this pandemic, literally saying, no, I want my rose colored glasses on again. And it reminds me of the red pill and the blue pill. I'm not kidding you. I mean, the,
Right.
literally, I had somebody say to me, I would prefer to have my rose colored glasses on right now than going through this horseshit.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. Well, there's no going back. No,
No,
there's no going back.
it's
And
true.
and really what has kept me centered is my relationship with the heavenly creator, Christ, the heavenly creator. And literally, I just pray. What else can I do? And if we all prayed, literally all prayed at our own time and whatever way we want to, and whatever God that you kneel down for, whoever it is, whatever, you know, just do it.
Right.
Like right now is the time.
Right. You don't need to go to church or have any kind of special um formal anything. Just even talking to yourself. I mean, you do, but I'm saying some people, including myself, I don't necessarily feel comfortable in a church. I never have. So I always pray, myself to however I decide to pray. And wherever you could find a little peace to calm yourself is always a good thing. So yeah.
Yeah, right now is the time to pray. Well, Madge, as always, it's been awesomely interesting to have a to have a conversation. Thank you so much. Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
you. Thank
And
you.
thank you to all the listeners. We look forward to chatting tomorrow. Have a blessed, blessed day. Thank you so much for listening. Stay safe, subscribe, and review. We will come at you with many more topics, and remember, united we stand.